He calls a tail. It's a head. Miami wins the toss. What do you want to do, men?
We would defer.
You want to defer, okay? Miami wins the toss. They defer till the second half. Fellas, you have your choice to kick or receive. They want the ball. What do you guys want to do? They're going to take the ball. You guys got to kick. You have a choice of goals to defend.
We're going to defend the close in.
You want to put your backs to that one? Please put it over there. Chuck over here.
Urban is not happy. He wanted the ball at the start of the game. The Irish will have it. The kickoff is coming up. To kick it off. Tim Brown awaits it at the 5. Up to the 9. There will be hammering early in the Orange Bowl. The Irish will be moving into the breeze. Now the Notre Dame offense. Tony Rice leads the way. He's out of Woodruff, South Carolina. He should enjoy this heat. Behind him at running backs, Anthony Johnson and Braxton Banks interchangeable at fullback. Mark Green of Riverside, California. The wide receivers, Tim Brown, the main force there, of course. Against the 4-man front, they run Green. And the right side of the line opened a hole, and middle linebacker George Myra makes the tackle. The offensive line, and it's a good one. Chuck Lanza, the senior, Tom Freeman, and Tim Grunhard, 265 and 271 at guards. The tackles are Tom Rader at 275 and Byron Spruell at 280 pounds. Andy Heck, the 6'6 junior from Annandale, Virginia. He has the Irish in second and short. Here's Green again. Toward the first down, Pat Hayden.
2 runs right toward the All-American Dan Stubbs, and that's what Notre Dame wants to do right now, is run the ball early in the game at Dan Stubbs. They feel that he's not as good at the point of attack as he is chasing from behind. But he's a very good pass rusher, and he's awfully quick when he's chasing you down.
They have a yard to go. They're clicking on third down almost 43% of the time. Will be looking for the run. 5-man defensive line. They run the fullback for the first down. Now the defense, and Pat Hayden mentioned one of their All-Americas, Daniel Stubbs. They also have Derwin Jones and Greg Mark in that defensive line, 275 and 232. Stubbs is 6'4", 250. Hawkins 6'6", 255. Myron, he is the son of the former quarterback here. Good outside linebackers, real good. Perhaps unheralded down here. First down for the Irish. Pounding away behind Lanza, and Johnson breaks free. Brings it to the 45-yard line, and Vinny blades after a 12-yard gain.
Key matchup early on, the center Chuck Lanza against the middle linebacker George Myra right in the middle of the screen. You don't see many college teams play the 4-3. That time the guard Grunhard steps around and blocks Myra and opened up a huge hole for Johnson. Key early in the ball game, Ken Lanza and the guards control the middle linebacker from Miami.
Four-man, Myra close to the defensive line of scrimmage. Out of the wishbone, Johnson battling, and with him was Bill Hawkins, number 54, bringing him down.
Bill Hawkins plays on the other side from right here from Daniel Stubbs. He is an unheralded player, but very good off the ball. Very quick. You see him fight down the block, and that's what he has to do. His job is to take away the fullback of Notre Dame and force them to run outside.
Now, the Irish don't pass and aren't expected to pass much, but Lou Holtz will show a variety of formations. Back to the eye. They run the draw play with Green, and the defense was there. Myra and Shannon, two of the linebackers at the point of attack. This is going to leave the Irish with a 3rd and long, and here's where they'll be at a disadvantage.
Again, the middle of the screen, George Myra. I talked to him yesterday. He is very much fired up. Couldn't sleep for 2 days. Get ready for this ball game. Read the block beautifully. His job is to read the offensive guard. When he blocks down, he steps up as he did there.
Rice's first pass. Going deep down the middle, incomplete. So the Irish pass up a first down pass. Instead, they go long. Number 15, Pat Terrell, was the deep receiver.
And Brett, this has been Tony Rice's problem all season long. He has had guys wide open because you have to defend the run, but he has overthrown them.
Phelan with the afternoon's first punt. Standing at the Irish 34. 10-man front. Phelan gets it off. Perriman at the 19. Sprinter speed. Down around the 26-yard line. 8-yard return by Brett Perriman. So Miami's first possession coming up when we return to the Orange Bowl in a moment. Hurricanes. Cedric Figueroa is starting at linebacker for the Irish. That is critical for their defense. On first down, Walsh will put it up, and he'll go for the bomb. Blades was covered beautifully, and that was Marv Spence.
Interesting first play by Miami because they really haven't been a big play passing team. They've really actually let the receivers do it after the catch. But this time they go deep. Great coverage by Marv Spence. He did a nice job of coverage and also did a nice job of not interfering with Blades. And we've seen that in 3 or 4 games now. Spence has covered the deep ball very well.
So Spence is there, and Figueroa back at linebacker against Jimmy Johnson. Remember, Blair Thomas of Penn State rushed for 214 yards last week. Figueroa was not in the Irish defense. They'll put it up twice in a row. Opening man is Irvin, juggling, and down at the 41-yard line. On the move, Todd Light brought him down, but that's one of his favorite patterns. 16 yards and a first down.
Had not Michael Irvin juggled this ball, he may have been off to the races. This is the kind of pass you want to get to the guy like Irvin, who's very good after he catches the ball. A crossing route that he can catch on the move, so he juggles it, and because he slows down, he gets tackled. Otherwise, he may cut upfield for a much bigger play.
Miami opens up passing with Walsh, a high percentage passer, 60%. Now they run Williams. He hammers out beyond midfield. And again, Streeter and Light are forced to make the tackle. That is something that the Irish defense had to do last week. The defensive line and the linebackers were unable to shut down Penn State at the line of scrimmage. Now Steve Walsh out of St. Paul, Minnesota, the sophomore. Mel Bratton, he's the senior. Warren Williams. Brian Blades out of Fort Lauderdale, the older of the Blades brothers, and Mike Irvin, also of Fort Lauderdale, only a junior. This is Bratton, number 5. That time, the Irish came up strong. Mike Griffin, the nose man, and Flash Gordon, 38, one of the outside linebackers, bringing him down.
Boy, Brett, Michael Irvin is really pumped up. You mentioned at the beginning of the game he wanted the ball, and then he juggled that one ball, but right there he was in George Streeter's face, the strong safety from Notre Dame. He's been looking forward to this game for a couple of years.
So the officials call a timeout, and you can see how close they are to a first down. 3rd and short. They'll bring in an extra tight end. They'll use a power formation here. Pigza will join Roberts. Now Bratton, the fullback, was a tailback until they switched him this year. Those of you who remember the Doug Flutie heroics here against Miami may have forgotten about the great game Mel Bratton had that afternoon. Splitting the backs, Irvin on the wing. There he is for the first down, and he made it look easy. Getting to the Irish 45-yard line before Tom Gorman tackled him.
And 2 nice blocks on the left side. Mike Sullivan and Matt Patchen on the left side really opened the hole there for Bratton. 3rd and 1 right over here on the left side. In the center as well, Garcia clears the way. They only need 1, so you just need a little crease when you have a guy 223 pounds. Big hole there, easy to pick up the 1 yard there. Very quick off the ball, this offensive line.
Play calling seeming to keep Notre Dame a little off balance early. Miami mixes the pass well with the run. Walsh to put it up again, has good protection. Incomplete, though. That time the ball was deflected. That low trajectory, and it was ticked. Now his offensive line, and they have been taught how to pass protect very well down here. Bobby Garcia stepped in at center. He's a sophomore. Mike Sullivan's out of the Chicago area. Scott Probin, he is the senior at 250 pounds. Matt Patchen, he's a 6'4 senior. John O'Neill, a 270-pound junior. Now John Foley, a linebacker, comes into that defensive line, as does Frank Stamms, number 49 and number 30, and they run at it, and Bratton got past the line of scrimmage into the arms of George Streeter, the safety man. So that is a key switch defensively for the Irish.
Good hit here by George Streeter, the strong safety. Miami keeps you off balance so much, it's tough to get your defensive backs involved in the running game too much, but Streeter from the strong safety position there guessed pretty well and put the stop on Mel Bratton.
A big football game is so much like a fight. It can be over in a hurry. You don't always get the fourth quarter ending, and Notre Dame is scared to death of this great speed Miami possesses. As Urban there slotted to the right. There's that pass protection. Intercepted by Streeter. The first turnover of this game.
And Notre Dame baited Steve Walsh into an audible. That's one of the things they wanted to do. Make him think that it was going to be a blitz, have him call the audible, which he did here, and then drop off in zone coverage. He was expecting the blitz and man-for-man coverage, but Streeter fell back into the coverage for the interception.
He has not been plagued by interceptions either. That is Miami's 10th turnover of the year.
See, here he is faking the blitz. That is Streeter, and then he's going to drop back after faking the blitz into zone. Walsh had called the audible, expecting man-for-man coverage. Good defensive philosophy by Fazio.
Now Rice swings it out, and he overled Green. Green should go hard at a ball like that, because you never know when it's going to be a lateral when you're throwing out in the flat in that direction. And he may become a fine passer, but he has a long way to go, and that's the word according to Coach Lou Holtz. And Lou said, "I'll make him a passer. You better believe it by next spring." And I said, "Well, what do you mean, Coach? How you going to do that?" He said, "When he lines up in that first spring practice as a defensive back, you better believe he's going to become a passer in a hurry."
That'll get his attention, I guarantee you.
2nd and 10 now for the Irish. No score, early going against Miami. There's that option. Handoff to the fullback, working the right side of the line. Daniel Stubbs making the stop. Talk so much about the running attack. This is the percentage of running plays that the Irish have utilized in the last 6 weeks.
That's why Lou Holtz is absolutely astounded that his team is 8-2, because they have been so one-dimensional. And it's a shame because they have one of college football's premier receivers, of course, in Brown, but they have not been able to get him the ball.
3rd and long again for the Irish. Now the inside handoff to Green. He breaks it beautifully, and Shannon makes the stop, but that is short of the first down. The Irish will punt again. Because they were unsuccessful on their first 2 downs, they had too many yards to go on 3rd down, and Phelan will punt it.
I believe there may have been a penalty, Brent.
Personal foul on the defense.
And a big win. Boy, that will give Notre Dame a first down and keep this drive going. Now, that is 2 mistakes by the Canes here early against Lou Holtz. They have thrown the interception, and on a 3rd down, they have a personal foul. You think he's not into it, folks?
Jimmy Johnson still doesn't know what happened. His defense obviously still has done the job on the first 2 series, other than that big penalty.
first down.
That'll move the ball down to the Miami 41.
Give Notre Dame a first down at the Miami 41-yard line.
Second time the Irish have taken the ball into Miami territory. They've had only 2 possessions. Arizona State jumps out early.
What the Miami defense has done in the first 2 series, though, Brent, has really stopped Notre Dame on first down. If Notre Dame can get 4 yards on first down with the fullback, they're tough to beat. But Miami defense has stuffed them on the first 2 series on first down.
Well, they are convincing Rice to give the ball up on the option. He is a very talented runner. Miami and Notre Dame are scoreless. Orange Bowl. The short side, and this time Rice keeps it. You can see that the Miami defense has been instructed about his ability as a runner. They jumped all over him. George Myra, the middle linebacker, 45, was in on the stop. His father was a dandy quarterback down here. One of the first great scramblers, really. He preceded Fran Tarkenton, who played collegiately at Georgia before going up and becoming a star with Minnesota. Now again, it's second and long. Off the option. Here's the pitch to Green, and they were ready that time. Great defense by Fullington, number 19. He can play close to the line of scrimmage because the Irish do not have a talented passing game. Not far for him to come on run support, folks.
But this is just what they want him to do. They want Rice to pitch the ball, and they'd rather have Green taking the ball on the option than Rice. Rice has beaten about 3 teams this year himself when he's kept the ball on the option, particularly inside the 20-yard line.
Normally a passing down. They will this time. Under fire, won't get it off. A sack. Down at the 46.
George Myra is off to a great start. Number 45, right up the middle. He's the middle linebacker. That should be the center's man. But because the center was covered, a good defensive tactic, Myra comes clean, and then the back should have picked him up.
Yeah, Green didn't pick him up very well, did he? No personal foul this time, and Phelan will punt it away. Miami's defense looks tough, don't they? Harriman faking the fair catch, hoping it goes in for the touchback, and it does. Kind of weather you'd want when you come to Miami. Scoreless here in the first quarter. Steve Walsh bringing the Canes back to the line of scrimmage. Eyeing that defense and getting the signal that all is set and ready to go here. He has followed a line of great quarterbacks at this school. Jim Kelly, Bernie Kosar, Denny Testaverde. Switches Roberts over to the left side. That's Blades 9 at the bottom of your screen. They run on first down with Bratton. He brought it back outside and found room. The Irish leave a hole outside before Figueroa can finally run him down after a 20-yard gain. But Bratton with a nifty piece of running for a fullback. He bounced back outside.
You talk about a runaway back, Mel Bratton at 223 pounds, but he's done this throughout his career here at Miami. He's got great vision, and he's changed his direction a lot. I still remember the Boston College game where he did this several times. But then he gets upfield and he protects the ball. Miami has not fumbled the ball much this year.
What a good move on Spence that time, didn't he? Miami moved the ball last time until they threw the interception. This time they come out running, and Bratton is hammered by Coons. Well, the offense has been sluggish, and I asked quarterback Steve Walsh what they have to do today.
Well, I think for our offense to be successful, we need, first of all, we need to be patient, and we need to have the intensity level there that hasn't been there in the past couple of weeks. And, I think with the intensity level comes the concentration. And when we have all those 3 things going, we're pretty much unstoppable.
Facing a 2nd and 11. He floods to the left. He'll throw in that direction. Complete. Williams comes out as a receiver down to the Irish 39-yard line. A 22-yard gain.
What makes Miami so difficult to defend is they spread the ball around. They'll throw the ball to Michael Irvin. They'll dump it off to a back on a screen pass. They'll throw it to the tight end. And then they come downfield to Warren Williams, who's lined up on the wing there on the left-hand side. Walsh reads him right down the middle. A soft part of the defense. Irvin had cleared it out. And Williams is an exceptional receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah, when you put Perriman and Irvin and Williams on one side, your defense faces a lot of trouble if that offensive line can give the quarterback protection. Notice how they kept Bratton into pass protect. They run the draw play with Williams. Well, here is the Irish defense. Mike Griffin starting in the middle for him. He's 246. Gorman is 260. Coons 256. Wes Pritchett is out of Atlanta, Georgia, and Bolkar from Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Key men here would be the outside linebacker, Cedric Figueroa. He is probably their best defensive player, and Darrell Gordon on the other side. Injured player down is Williams.
Well, Warren Williams has been a quiet player for this Miami team, but very, very underrated and a valuable player. Catching the football and running it. He is their leading rusher.
So Jimmy Johnson will come with his freshman. The Miami future is on the field right now, and Leonard Conley. You will see him next to these great big fellas here momentarily, and you'll say, how can he do it? Well, it's speed, and you can't coach that. Back into the tail. Movement. Off a play fake, and Walsh hits his tight end. Roberts inside the 30-yard line. Walsh went ahead even though the penalty marker came down, feeling that if he had a free one, he'd take it.
And one of the problems is when you audible as much as Steve Walsh does, you're going to have those kind of
offsides,
those kind of penalties. That one was on Notre Dame as they jumped offside.
You know, last week when I reviewed the tape again, I noticed that Joe Paterno's quarterback, by changing the cadence, was able to draw Notre Dame offsides a couple of times. And I wonder if Walsh didn't utilize that maneuver again this time.
You know, it's not a bad tactic, particularly in a passing down when linemen are thinking pass rush and want to get upfield quickly.
We're going to take time out. We're going to measure to see whether there's a first down.
It'll be real close. Well, so far Miami has moved the ball. This is the second time they've had it. They self-destructed with the interception. And defensively, it appears as though Notre Dame is going to have to come up with a better assortment of plays on first down.
Yes, they really, and they've found themselves on third down, very long situation Notre Dame has. They must get more on first down because they are not a 3rd and 8 type of team.
First down.
That much do they get a first down? Probably would have preferred a 2nd and inches right there and taking a free one at the end zone. But it'll be first down now at the Notre Dame 28-yard line. Conley still in the game. Sideline, and he hit Irvin beautifully. Let's go downstairs to John Doctor. Doc.
You know, Brent, we talked a lot about the revenge factor in this game. Anyone who says it's not part of this game is absolutely wrong. Earlier, I showed you the button that a lot of the fans are wearing. Well, if you could see underneath these white jerseys of the Notre Dame players, and you saw their gray T-shirt, you would see inscribed on that T-shirt, Notre Dame will rise from the ashes. So the players and the coaches haven't forgotten 2 years ago either. Now back to you, Brent.
All right, Doc. Here it's 2nd and short. The difference in the game so far, the first downs. Couldn't get free that time. Ned Bolkar, the inside linebacker, stepped up, made a nice stop.
Ned Bolkar, their leading tackler, has done this most of the year. As soon as he gets a read on a guard, he steps up into the hole and shoots the gap right there. Unblocked, he puts the stop on Bratton. studies a lot of film and gets some keys.
We have a 3rd down for the Hurricanes. Let's see how they deploy all the weapons. They'll send Blades up to the top of your screen, and they'll bring Irvin down low. The tight end is Roberts. They'll shoot from the eye. And again, the Irish moving at defensive line. Conley got a hole. He's tricky. So Conley squirts 17 yards.
Watch the right guard, Scott Provan, who is going to pull and trap out here and allow Conley to slip through the hole. So even though he is 5'9", only 5'9", he has great vision. Good block there by Sullivan, number 79 as well. And Blades, the wide receiver, gets in the way. If a wide receiver can make a block, you have a 20-yard gain, which ordinarily would be a 5 or a 7-yard gain.
Against Lou Holtz and the Irish defense, it's 1st and goal for the Canes at the Notre Dame 6. Jimmy Johnson's running game is in good hands, isn't it?
Well, a year ago, coming out of high school, Brent, they were wondering about Leonard Conley and Emmitt Smith. Who is the better back? Jimmy Johnson thinks he got a pretty good back in Conley. Very, very patient offense, this Miami. They don't have the quick strike ability they had a year ago with Testaverde, but they've scored on nearly 50% of their offensive possessions this year.
And Bratton can go up over the top, too. Fumble at the goal line. It goes over to the Irish. Bratton fumbles going in at the goal line, the 2nd turnover.
And Brent, very uncharacteristic. They only had 9 turnovers the whole year coming into the game. Good exchange between the quarterback and the fullback, but he just dropped it. The ball was put right in his lap.
You will see an inside linebacker, Wes Pritchett, down at the bottom of that pile for Notre Dame. We'll be right back. After the fumble, quarterback Tony Rice keeps it and plows right into the middle of that line. The officials conferred while you were away. Now remember, there's no instant replay. They weren't reviewing whether or not it was a fumble. They were wondering whether or not it had gone into the end zone on the fumble, and they should spot it out at the 20. Now Bratton had moved about a half a foot, and you can see he fumbles on the handoff. It appeared to be a good handoff. He was looking for the hole, took his eye off the ball. Pritchett jumps in and recovers. So we've come to the end of a scoreless first quarter. College football will return after this message and a word from your local stations. Fumble. But Miami has outgained the Irish, 111-31. Tony Brooks and Braxton Banks are in the Notre Dame backfield. This is a 2nd down and 9 coming out from almost the 1-inch line. To put it up from the end zone. Goes for Tim Brown, incomplete. Bubba McDowell was there with the coverage, and he had help.
I like the call, but I thought that ball should have been caught. It looked like it went right through Tim Brown's hands. That ball looked like it was well thrown. You see the last part, the ball was well thrown. Yeah, Tenney should have caught that ball. Brown should have caught that pass. Well thrown by Rice. A good call when you're backed up.
Lou electing to throw on 2nd. Now it's 3rd and long. He shows wishbone. They'll have to punt from their own end zone. Did a good job.
The Miami defense thus far, Brent, the defensive line in particular, have really done their jobs. Danny Stubbs right there put the stop in the early penetration. Tim Brown used as a decoy that time.
Phelan will be back near the end line. Parham 46. Great punt, drove him back to the 50. Comes to the near side, and a good return by the wide receiver. And there's a 14-yard return. So tomorrow at 12:30, our friend Jimmy the Greek will be along, taking a look at the week's activities, and then we will start our doubleheader. Here's our first game menu for you. St. Louis at Atlanta, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New England, Green Bay, Chicago. Then the doubleheader games, the Giants and the Redskins, Tampa Bay and the Los Angeles Rams. We start at 12:30 Eastern on CBS. 1st and 10 for Miami. They've been moving the ball their first 2 times, but an interception and a fumble. Here's Bradley trying to swing it outside. He got past Light with a nifty move.
Very uncharacteristic of this Miami team. They came in only fumbling 3 times in 9 games. And then the fumble, and Walsh had only thrown 4 interceptions all year.
Both times they fumbled and threw the interception in Notre Dame territory. But again, they're in 2nd and short. They have dominated this game so far. They have done everything except stick it in the end zone. Now it's Williams to the short side of the field. He broke the tackle of the first Irish defender, stepped out of bounds with a first down.
One of the key factors of this Miami success this year, as well as the last 4 or 5 years, has been their offensive line. You mentioned it earlier. They protect the passer better than just about anybody in the country. They've only given up 8 sacks all season long. They've given their quarterbacks the last 5 or 6 years a lot of time to find those talented receivers. I don't think their offensive line gets enough credit.
Urban there in the slot. He's dangerous from that spot if they elect to go to him. Instead, they run Williams. Now, behind the Miami bench are several gigantic fans hoping to cool down the players. It's over 80 degrees, high humidity. Now, in the NFL, they would have to provide fans for the visiting team. That's not the rule in college football. Second down and long. Walsh, excellent protection, incomplete. And there's a flag. He had no business hitting Bratton. Randy Wells came up. And Stan Smagala was back defensively, too.
Defensive pass interference. Automatic first down.
But Brett, not necessarily a bad penalty, because he was beaten easily for the touchdown. Bratton out of the backfield. Walsh looks him off and comes back to Bratton. He's got Smagala beaten for an easy score, and so I think he did the right thing in the creating the penalty, pass interference. Bratton was wide open on the inside. Miami just has too much speed to play man-for-man defense on, all over the field, in the backfield and the wide receiver position.
To take a rundown of the Miami athletes who handle the ball, and they have one common characteristic. They were all involved in track and field back in high school. What is it Bear Bryant says his first lesson? Gentlemen, luck always follows speed.
That's some great athletes.
Here comes Williams to the wide side, trying to stretch the Irish defense out. There was a penalty marker down. You could see it as Williams came out of bounds, pursued by Brandy Wells.
Offsides on the defense.
Well, the Goodyear blimp for 62 years. Been bringing us glorious shots like this at our top sporting events in this country.
Brett, that is the third time that Notre Dame has been offsides. And to give the Miami coaching staff some credit, they're going on some longer counts and drawing them offsides.
Moving the ball to the Irish 4 where it's first and goal. Now it's been 2 turnovers, which has halted this Hurricane team before. The Irish can't count on that all game long, can they? Irvin's there on the wing. Double tied in with the power look. Fumble again, and Walsh falls on the ball. Johnson can't believe it. And there's a penalty flag down. That may have been a late hit after he went down on the ball.
You know, Brett, it looked like Steve Walsh actually had the ball knocked out of his hand by a guard that may have been pulling. It happens to quarterbacks sometimes.
Dead ball foul. Personal foul for piling on.
Bad exchange between the center and quarterback here. Yeah, that's all it was. Actually, the ball was snapped pretty well. That was all Walsh. Walsh didn't secure it, bring it into his chest before the handoff. And
George
the late
Streeter coming in on top of the quarterback, came in late, so that's a little half the distance down here in this part of the field.
The personal foul penalty against Notre Dame moves the ball to the 3-yard line.
So it'll be first and goal from the Irish 3 for Johnson's Hurricanes. With that same power look, they will throw out of this formation. Wes Pritchett did a good job here, Pat.
Well, down by the goal line, he has been very effective. He is number 34. When they're in this set, the fullback is going to carry the ball about 80% of the time. He realizes that that is his key. And he steps up right in the hole. He defeats the block of the back there and gets in the way of the fullback, Brett. Good read.
Now Pritchett and the rest of the Irish defense facing a second and goal. For the touchdown. Miami scores first. Attempt the extra point. Hammers it in. Mel Bratton scores his 30th career touchdown, and he had a good block here, Pat.
Michael Irvin, number 47, the All-American wide receiver. Watch him, he is on the wing. He's a big receiver. He's 200 pounds. He's 6'2". Kicks that Streeter, the strong safety, out, and that allows Bratton to cut inside. Every time that Miami has needed critical yardage, they've gone to the left side over Patchen and Sullivan, the left guard and tackle.
Now, Lou Holtz has to be concerned. The Hurricanes are moving the ball at will. We'll be right back. Our tackles. Now, Mrs. Patchen was knocked unconscious in a freak accident in her house. We understand she's listening to the broadcast up in the Pittsburgh area. And Mrs. Patchen, we're glad to hear that you're coming along, and that was a very nice gesture on the part of Mel Bratton, who has given the Hurricanes the lead. The kickoff by Cox to the short man. The Irish will take over there at the 31-yard line. George Streeter making the catch on the Cox kickoff. It'll be first down for Notre Dame. There is Matt Patchen, and he has played with a heavy heart, but he was so pleased this week to get word that his mom was improving up home. I think she stumbled getting out of the shower, Pat. Is that what they told us?
That's exactly right. He actually missed a game this season while he spent that week at home with his mother. But he's played remarkably well under the circumstances.
Braxton Banks and Mark Green, the running backs for Notre Dame. First down, Rice with an open man drills him on the side, far side. Number 83 is Reggie Ward. 16 yards, and that's only his second catch of the season, but they get another wide receiver involved in the attack. What about that first down call, Mr. Hayden?
Well, I like to see it, but the other receiver on the other side from Tim Brown should have a feast every week, and it's amazing to me that that position really has only caught 5 passes all year long. As much attention as Brown has gotten, the other receiver should play a larger part in their offense.
Well, they moved the chains on first down for a change. Now they run the fullback. Banks, he barrels down to the 39. Now that's a 13-yard run, and those of you who have followed Notre Dame can harken back to the USC game, Alabama game. The opponents scored the first times there. USC punched in a touchdown. Alabama kicked a field goal. And one of the trademarks of a Lou Holtz team so far has been the way they've bounced right back. Here they do. With 2 plays, they get Canes 39. There's Brown. Bubba McDowell tackling him after he gets to the 33. Now Notre Dame starting to open it up a little bit.
But I like this call. You have to get your best player the ball as much as you can. If your quarterback is struggling throwing the ball downfield, just do this. It's an easy throw. It's something that Notre Dame has had some success with. Get the ball into his hands, and even though it was only picked up for 6 yards, there's always the potential for a big play.
Now Rice is 3 of 6 here in the early going. They've got a slot to the left on this second down. You can see the defensive pressure. And Green had an opening there on the left side. Rod Carter, the linebacker, tripping him up.
Mark Green has gotten better and better as this season has gone along. And he does a lot of the things that you don't really notice. He blocks well. He runs good routes. He's a good faker. But he has come a long way from beginning to the end of this season. He's a very valuable part of this offense now.
Alonzo Jefferson into the backfield in this wishbone look. He's the left halfback. Banks for the first down, hammering away close to the 25-yard line into the arms of Myra.
One more look at George Myra, number 45 in the middle. Again, his responsibility is to stop the fullback, particularly on 3rd and short. Big tendency of Notre Dame is to get in the wishbone on 3rd and short and give him the ball. There was too much out in front of him for him to put the stop on him before the first down.
Extra defensive back on this first down. They show 5 defensive backs. 4-man rush for the Hurricanes. Off the option, Hawkins all over him at the 30. Great play.
Bill Hawkins comes right outside. He's got a very long arm span and does a nice job of pulling Tony Rice down. He's really trying to take the fullback away. He sees the fullback doesn't have the ball, and then he jumps outside to get Rice. Nice job.
Pat Terrell brings the play in from the sideline. He goes out to Rice's left. Tim Brown at the bottom of your screen. Good protection right down the middle. He's covered. Interception. He threw into coverage. And the ball is picked off by the All-American Vinny Blades. A mental mistake by the young quarterback, and Miami makes him pay a price.
There's an adage in football. Never throw the ball late down the middle. Vinny Blades is reading the whole way, and Tony Rice does not look off the receiver. The ball is poorly thrown, and that's Blades' 19th career interception for Miami. He's made a living off of just reading the quarterback the whole way. Myra's trying to cover the back down the field, and Blades is right where he's supposed to be as the center fielder.
1st and 10 for Miami at the 29. What a great player he has been down here. Cleveland, Gary, and Conley are into the backfield for the Hurricanes. Off a play fake, Walsh on first down. He's got the tight end, Roberts. He gets to the Notre Dame 45. Miami on the roll again.
It is so difficult to play Miami because they get rid of the ball so quickly. Their quarterbacks over the years have really read defenses as well as any quarterbacks in America, so they don't get sacked much. The great play fake here to Conley, and watch how quickly the ball is out of Walsh's hands. You can't put pressure on a quarterback when he gets rid of the ball that quickly.
Roberts going to the right side of the line. Going to put it up again. Deep drop. Wants the screen pass to Conley. Down at the Irish 44. Short gain that time.
We just talked about the protection. Now remember, on a screen pass, they're actually linemen are supposed to be coming through, but their protection is so good that even on the screen, very few people get through to the quarterback Walsh. Felt the pressure, then dumped it off to Conley. This offensive line over the years, when you think about the great quarterbacks at Miami, you just think back, they never got sacked much.
Jones is now in, and they run Conley. Trying to spring him on a little delay, and Volcar ready for him. Let's go downstairs to John Doctor. Doc.
Thank you, Brennan. We're here with Tom Schweikert, captain of the cheerleaders. And Tom, what was in that envelope you brought from South Bend?
There's some devoted fans that brought some soil all the way from the grave of New Rocky back in South Bend.
And what did you do with it?
Well, I took it down to the far end zone and sprinkled it all over the field to bring the Irish some good luck today.
The Irish will do anything for luck today. Now back to you, Brent and Pat.
Better they bring along a few completed passes from Paul Hornung.
Yeah. I hope they get more into the end zone besides that turf.
3rd down and 5. Walsh straight back. Gets protection, deflected again. That's the second time that a pass of his has been deflected. He's been red hot since throwing that interception, too.
It was Ned Volcar, number 47, to the left of the screen right here, who makes the tip. And I tell you, that's one of the subtle things about football. If you can teach little things like that, as simple as just getting your hands up when the quarterback's ready to throw. If you can't sack them, get your hands up. And they've tipped 2 balls now.
Now Jeff Fiegels with his first punt. Brown standing back at the 10-yard line. A fake. They ran the fake. Leonard Conley for the first down. And I'll tell you who faked everybody in the arena out was Fiegels. He soared high in the air like it was a bad snap.
Well, he faked me out, Brent. I thought the ball went right over his head.
Watch Fiegels go into the air. I'll tell you, folks, they borrowed that from the baseball coach. Remember the great play he used in the World Series where the first baseman went diving for a throw that wasn't made and the student body bought into it, and then there was the pickoff? What a great play that is. 1st and 10 now for the Canes. They're at the Irish 34. They bring the little man back, spinning inside the 25. The future is now. Carried 5 times for 41 yards already.
You know, against Cincinnati, there's a first game this year where he got most of his playing time, 120 yards on only 8 carries. He can go the distance.
They have changed offensive centers for Miami. They had difficulty, you remember, with the center snap. And the fake on the punt. To the near side with Cleveland Gary. He's a junior, 6'2", 225, the big back.
So psychologically, this is very difficult for the Notre Dame defense. Here they thought they had him stopped really for the first time in the game, forced a punt. And then there was a great call by Jimmy Johnson on the fake punt. And now you're seeing a defensive team that's worn down, I think, early in the second quarter.
There have been 3 substitutions in that offensive line. Left tackle, right guard. Remembering the heat and humidity, they might want some fresh linemen as they throw the swing out here to Gary. Running room, hammers to the 10.
Now that looks like an easy throw, but I think that's a difficult throw to make well. And Steve Walsh threw that beautifully to Gary. He doesn't have to change a stride. The ball is right out in front of him. He doesn't lose any speed. Terrific touch by Steve Walsh. So often you see a quarterback throw that ball behind the back or too long. That's right there. That allowed Gary to get upfield.
Now, second and very short. They could throw on this down and still come back and get a first down. Instead, they'll run Conley, and Notre Dame was ready with Griffin, the nose man, bringing him down.
Good play by Mike Griffin, number 94, who has really been played injured all year long. He's right here. He's just going to come through and shoot through a little bit of a hole there after he fights off the block at the center and the fullback and puts the block on Conley. But he is playing with an injured ankle and foot, and knee, and back. It's a plaintiff lawyer's dream.
Barry Alvarez is the linebacker coach who was animated there in the sunglasses as Foge Fazio running this defense. This is third and very short out of this power formation. Fumble again on the exchange, and Walsh goes down, and now there is big difficulty between the center and the quarterback for Miami.
All day long they've had this problem, and as you mentioned, Brent, they've used two different centers, Garcia and Holder, and I think that could be a little bit disruptive for a quarterback. But there is no excuse for a bad exchange between quarterback and center.
They will set up for the field goal here. It'll be a 30-yarder by Greg Cox. He's had a good year. Kicked a 52-yarder for Johnson earlier. Puts this one through. Now, it is 10-0. But if you're Lou Holtz and the Irish, you're breathing a sigh of relief. This one could have been over, folks, but they're still in it. Saturday afternoon in Miami, along with John Dockery and Pat Hayden, I'm Brent Musburger. The Orange Bowl filled the capacity. Miami will kick it off. They lead Notre Dame 10-0. We have 3:09 to go here in the first half. Tim Brown standing back on his own 10. Miami kicked short the last time. And again, they aim it for that sideline. The Irish let it go out of bounds, and they'll take the penalty. Tradition, such a big part of college football, and next Saturday is one of our favorites, and we hope it's yours too. Army and Navy at 2 Eastern time from Philadelphia. What a great scene and a great game that always is. And then afterwards, the Heisman Trophy Awards show, sponsored by Kodak. That'll be following the Army-Navy game.
You know, Brent, there's so much hoopla now about the Heisman Trophy. There's the leading candidate, Timmy Brown. 1949, when Leon Hart won the award, you know how he was notified? By Western Union. They didn't have a show in those days.
Now they bring all the leading candidates in. Quarterback Don McPherson of Syracuse. Glad to see he was invited. Renzo White, Michigan State, going to the Rose Bowl. Nice job, George Burles. And Gordy Lockbaum. Good to see that he'll be included, too. They've changed kickoff men. Bennis with a little bit stronger leg here. And Brown has moved up to the 15-yard line. They take it high, and Brown at the 10. He's a good-looking athlete. There's a penalty flag coming down. Right into the middle of that pile-up down there.
Quick clipping.
Stupid penalty as far as the Irish coaching staff is concerned. They've got to be very upset about that. Tim Brown going back home to Dallas in the Cotton Bowl where he grew up. Look how he's done it against all odds. Folks, this is on a team without a passing attack.
It's really been amazing. All the attention that he has received and the double coverage that he's received, his numbers are remarkably close to a year ago.
So Brown and the Irish will start back on the 13.
Timmy Brown gives you about 150 yards the minute he steps out of the locker room.
Boy, had one slip through his hands early. You might wonder, what about the scouts? What did they think of him? Gil Brandt of the Dallas Cowboys is here, and he says he's number one. They have switched his quarterback. They have brought Kent Graham into the game for Notre Dame. Number 17, his first series. entered the game and contributed a critical turnover up at Penn State. He threw that interception late in the first half, and Notre Dame was denied not only a touchdown but a field goal opportunity against Penn State. I watched that tape last night, Pat. I got to tell you something. Joe Paterno's got to give 4 stars to John Wisniewski, that guard. What a great game he had against Notre Dame last week. Holy cow. Here's the toss now to Green, trying to get the first. He does.
Even though Notre Dame has run the ball here since Graham has been in, Lou Holtz brought him in because I believe he needs something out of the passing game. Kent Graham is a very good thrower. He's not going to beat you with his feet on the option like Rice can, but he can get the ball downfield.
Well, we have seen Jimmy Johnson's Miami defense take the option away from Jamel Holloway. Had all that experience last year in that great Oklahoma-Miami game, so it figured that they would cause Rice some problems. Tony Brooks back in at tailback. Sturdy, one of 3 tailbacks used by Holtz. Getting the call. See how hard he was to bring down? There's a difference amongst all 3 of them. Mark Green, elusive. Ricky Waters, perhaps quicker than any of them. And Tony Brooks will take you on.
Again, behind the post, George Myra just became the all-time leading tackler from Miami history this time. Again, he is reading his keys beautifully. When he sees the offensive guard pull, he knows it's going to be an outside play, and he gets to the outside. All day long, we have seen Myra read his keys beautifully.
Green replaces him against Myra in the Hurricane defense. He's the I-back. Graham's first pass won't get it off. Down he goes with Danny Stubbs, who loves to rush the passer. That's his game, folks.
And Brent, the reason that Danny Stubbs is such a very good pass rusher is his angle to the quarterback. When he sheds the blocker, he doesn't waste any turf. He takes a great angle to the quarterback. A lot of defensive ends will run too wide. Stubbs doesn't do that. He's got a great feel for getting rid of the blocker and getting to the quarterback.
I got to tell you, folks, it was a great play and everything, but you got to throw a flag when you wrench the quarterback's neck. Danny, you're real good. You don't need to do that, big fella. Graham now off a pump fake, sending down Tim Brown. Double coverage, incomplete. They were all over Brown.
This was a very poor read by Kent Graham. As good as Timmy Brown is, and he is in the slot, number 81, when he's double covered, you can't throw it to him. The man in the slot has single coverage. I think sometimes a quarterback expects too much from a receiver like Brown.
Phelan again. They got 10 men up. They may come after Phelan. Low snap. Does get it off. And Perriman driven back inside the 25. They surround him and he dives to the 35. The time left now is important. 23 seconds left when you come back. South Florida from the Goodyear Blimp Enterprise, headquartered not far from here, Pompano Beach, Florida. In the former home of the Miami Dolphins. They've moved up north now to Joe Robbie Stadium, so the Canes have it to themselves.
32 yards is all that Miami needs to get themselves in a position for a field goal, and they have 3 timeouts remaining.
Irish back deep in that secondary, and Walsh will go after it. Almost a great catch. Boy, can Irvin reach out and grab a ball. He does that about as well as any receiver in college football. Great extension of his arms. He doesn't give up on a pass.
And he had actually caught this ball until Brandy Wells, number 5, comes into the picture and knocks it out. He lays out. No, he didn't. He didn't actually catch it, but he did stretch out. A lot of receivers will not do that for you over the middle, but Irvin will.
Plays with a lot of enthusiasm. Why not? He's from a huge family. He had to be quick just to get to the dinner table. 17
kids. His mother, Pearl, had 60 people over for Thanksgiving dinner last Thursday.
Now Walsh is back. Under pressure. Gordon was coming. Throws incomplete. Flash Gordon making a move on him that time.
For really the first time today, they put some pressure on Walsh.
Well, Jim Nance and Ara Parsegan will be along with the Prudential College Football Report, and they'll be talking about the Heisman Trophy. You'll hear from some of these outstanding players. Not amongst them Tim Brown, who'll be over there looking to Lou Holtz. I'll tell you, Lou and the Irish would love to get in trailing by only 10, considering how much Miami dominated this first half. They're going to bring it on down. So if it's a fight, you would say that the Irish were sent reeling. Now they call a timeout here. We'll take a quick break. 6 seconds still to go in the first half. They want Miami to punt. Donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of both Notre Dame and Miami. Now 6 seconds to go. Miami set up in punt formation. One of Lou Holtz's goals was to make Miami punt in this game 2 years ago. In that now famous route, they didn't punt the ball once. Let's see if they punt this time. They didn't. Remember, they set up and faked it. Jeff Fiegels standing back at the 25. So there it is, nailing one. It's a beauty. Tim Brown on the run. Over the head catch at the 10-yard line, and he's down at the 9. As time runs out in the first half. $52-yard punt. And then Brown is stopped for a 2-yard loss. It's 10-0. It was 7-0 on a touchdown run by Bratton. Then the Canes set up the punt. Fiegels, though, gave his best Laurence Olivier as Conley slipped around the left side and set up the field goal. So Jim Nance will be back with the College Football Report after this message and a word from your local stations. John Dockery caught up with Coach Lou Holtz coming out of the locker room.
Coach, in the second half, is there any contemplation of a change at quarterback?
No, not really. I think Tony Ray's been the guy that's moved the ball consistently most times. We'll have to see what happens. We had some foolish penalties the first half. We had the turnover when we got down there. We're just going to have to go back, play our football game, go from there. Sure, we'd like to throw it 40 times, but we're not in that. That won't give us the best chance to win. We just have to do what will enable us to win.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck the rest of the game.
All right, so Pat Hayden, we are set to begin the second half. Throttle with the ball on the tee for the Irish. Randall Hill. He's got speed. One man to beat. Pushed out of bounds by Wells, the safety man on the kickoff team. Randall Hill, a 59-yard return.
There is no substitute in sport for speed, and Miami's got tons of it, even their return guys. There he hurdles over the defender, but there was a huge hole right up the middle. It looked like they had set up a side return, and he changed his mind, came up the middle because he saw the soft spot, and only Brandy Wells prevented the touchdown.
So the Hurricanes with a 1st and 10 at the Irish 35. Irvin in that slot to the right. They throw quickly to Brian Blades. Chased out of bounds by Streeter, number 27. Now on their first possession.
6 scores have been touchdowns.
As his Canes on the move here again. Walsh changing at the line. Short drop this time, and a quick pass to Irvin, who was cutting off that wing spot. And he gained a few extra yards as the Irish could not get him out of bounds on that far side.
Terrific footwork by Michael Irvin after the catch. Great presence on the field. He gives it the little stop and go and picks up an extra 4 or 5 yards. But the frustrating thing from the Notre Dame defensive standpoint, you can't get to Walsh because he gets rid of the ball so quickly.
Irvin with 3 catches for 40 yards here this afternoon, and he's pumped, isn't he? That's Roberts coming over. Johnson close to the 10-yard line.
You know, the Notre Dame defense, Brent, was on the field an awful lot in the first half, and here in the second half, the offensive line starts off with some great push. The left guard and center right there, Holder, do a nice job. 76 is Scott Probin, the right guard. Great push against the defensive front. He was down 6 yards before the tackle was made.
Glorious view. John O'Neill, 75. And tomorrow we'll be talking to the former Miami quarterback, Bernie Kosar, live on the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern. Doubleheader Sunday on CBS. A lot of you will see the Bears and the Packers. Then the second game, you'll watch the Giants and the Redskins or Tampa Bay against the Rams. 12:30 Eastern time, we'll get underway.
Bernie Kosar has really come on to be one of the best young quarterbacks, I think, in the NFL. Got started right here with his offensive coordinator, Gary Stevens, who's tutored all his quarterbacks here very well.
Now, as a result of that penalty, it is 2nd and almost 10. There was a whistle prior to the handoff to Williams.
Looked like the left side got started early.
Dead ball. False start on the offense.
Miami's made a lot of mistakes. Close to the 10-yard line. Now the ball is back on the Irish 21-yard line. This second down. Miami leading Notre Dame 10-0. Early moments of the third quarter. Steve Walsh, the young quarterback. Bratton has come up on the wing. He's a splendid pass receiver for a fullback. There's Williams. Stretching. Great cutback by Williams.
And another nice block by Michael Irvin, and that allowed Williams to have time to cut it back. One of the great things this Miami team does on the outside is get some good blocks from the wide receivers. The hole is sealed down to the inside. Williams bounces it outside, and there's Irvin again on light number 1. That allowed Williams to get back inside.
Linebacker Ned Bolcar, shaken up, has gone off to the Irish sideline on that play.
Important down for the Irish defense here. They must force a field goal attempt. They can't afford to give up another touchdown here in the third quarter.
So Gregory Harris steps into the inside, number 45 for Notre Dame. Walsh to throw it. Can't get it off. Receivers were covered. Ball goes down, and Notre Dame has recovered. Jeff Coons laps up the fumble, and another Hurricane turnover.
And once again, uncharacteristic. They were only sacked 8 times coming into the game. The big concern for Notre Dame was putting pressure on Walsh. But the reason he was sacked was because it was great coverage back there. The hit was made by Gordon, number 38, and the recovery there by Kuntz. Good coverage in the backfield caused the sack.
Now Rice brings the Irish up. As the quarterback, he'll show wishbone on first down. Those turnovers have kept it close. This is Brown, operating out of the halfback spot. Gets up to the 15-yard line. But again, the Irish have not been that successful on first down.
Tim Brown just does not look comfortable running the ball from the backfield position. He just looks a lot more comfortable out in the wing when they can throw them that quick screen. They threw it to him once in the first half. He picked up about 7 yards.
They bring him to the left side of the formation. Behind Green and the fullback Johnson with the officials stopping action here. The referee will now come over to Jimmy Johnson on the near sideline.
were much noisier in the first half.
Now we get word from Mike Burks up in the out in the truck. It isn't the sound. There were some things being thrown on the field, and Jimmy is over telling the student body to stop it. I guess as Brown came out to the left side of the field, someone threw something in his direction, and very quickly the Miami coach told the student body not to engage in that kind of activity. So Brown is in the slot now. I think some of the crowd thinks it was noise.
It is now.
There they run Green out close to the 20-yard line. Myra again. He's played himself a ball game today. Number 45, George Myra. He's a senior linebacker.
Very difficult position to play in the inside the middle linebacker. Again, you don't see a 4-3 defense much in college football because few guys can play the middle linebacker position, support the run, take away the fullback, and get back in coverage like Myra does.
Well, the Irish have not been able to take advantage of these turnovers, but they have come with Miami moving into Notre Dame territory. Now Rice on the roll. Open is Brown, and a first down for Notre Dame at the 39-yard line. Tim Brown wide open that time, a 20-yard gain.
If Notre Dame is going to have a chance in this game, they're going to have to get the ball to Tim Brown. And the other thing that's going to have to happen is the offensive line is going to have to take charge and control the ball for about 5 or 6 or 7 minutes before they score.
Well, on first down, Notre Dame picking up a lot of those yards on a couple of big plays. Brooks comes back in, and he busted at that time on first down. The freshman ran hard. Rod Carter and Jimmy Jones bringing him down.
He's stopped by Rod Carter and Darrell Phillips.
So here in Miami, along with Pat Hayden and John Dockery, I'm Brent Musburger. Glad to have you along. It's 10-0. Miami over Notre Dame. 10:24 in the third in the Orange Bowl. Night closing in on South Florida. And Ricky Waters in the Notre Dame backfield for the first time. He's the tailback. Here's the option. And Rice couldn't go anyplace. Myro was there. Johnson's defensive scheme, which he used at Oklahoma State, brought with him to Miami, has always been strong against the quarterback on the option.
He has always defended the option well, but here is George Meyer that we talked about again. When he comes down the line of scrimmage, he's there to fill the hole and make the play. Good penetration up front, too, by Stubbs and number 86, Derwin Jones.
You know, Rice didn't give him a good look. He's got a pitch on that when Myra's coming in. Stepping into the hole. It'll be third down now for Rice and the Irish. Here's Waters. He's gets to midfield, and that would be a first down. That's Myra's 11th tackle, too, but I don't think it was good enough to stop the first down. They'll move the chains here and stop the clock.
Pretty good push by the offensive line of Notre Dame before Myra had a chance really to get up there and make the stop. But he fights off a couple of blocks. Toughest thing for a middle linebacker to do is keep people away from your legs so that you can make the play, but Myra did it there.
There's that big talented offensive line. Boy, a tip of the hat to that Oklahoma offensive line. They're as good as any in the country. They'll be here at the Orange Bowl for the next appearance against Miami on New Year's night. Rice off a fake, but there was a whistle. Now that shows you how well the Miami defense has played here this afternoon.
And we've seen a lot, obviously, of George Myra, but one of the reasons, Brent, he's been able to make so many tackles, it's the inside guys, Greg Mark and Derwin Jones, the inside tackles, have kept people off him.
Delay game on the offense, still first down.
Brown will come wide to the left. On 1st and 15 now for Rice. Protection, moves the pocket, incomplete, and Brown dropped another one. His second drop of the afternoon. You know, George Meyer is such a familiar name. John Dockery, how did a great quarterback raise a tough middle linebacker?
You know, Brent, that was just what I was going to ask George Meyer Sr. How did a great, Brent's question, how did a great quarterback like you raise a middle linebacker for his son? Why wasn't he a quarterback?
Well, he was always too big, and he couldn't play that little league football that we play around here, so he decided to go out for nose guard and moved into linebacker.
He did. Well, one other question, George. Coming into the game, I know you spent a lot of time with your son. What was his biggest concern today?
Well, his concern, number one, was the center. He knows he's a good football player, and then he was concerned with the whole offensive line. They're big and they're strong.
Thank you, George.
Great blow delivered that time by Rod Carter. He delivered a message with that one. This is a tough and talented defense, well coached.
And they will let you know you're back there. I tell you, even if you don't catch the ball, you're going to pay for it. You don't like Heisman Trophy candidates running around the backfield, I tell you.
Here's that 3rd and long again for young Rice. He's been hurt by a couple of drop balls. He gets good protection, but he takes off. Notre Dame forced the punt. Well, sometimes the press clippings won't help you catch a ball. Bubba McDowell closing in from behind. In the first half, working the far side, he had broken free. Can't hold on. And Phelan will punt it away against a 10-man look up front for Miami. Perriman at the 20. Comes to the middle. Gets out to the 31-yard line. Another good 11-yard return by Brett Perriman. He's a wide receiver, good all-around football player on a beautiful Saturday night in Miami. Soccer in London, then you jump on the Concorde and say, take me to Miami so I can watch a little football. That scene captured from the Goodyear Blimp Enterprise and Captain Richard Esch a little bit earlier today on the landing here in Miami. Now it is Walsh dropping off the screen to Williams. He's got an alley. Pushed out of bounds, and Wells was the only man between Williams and 6 points for the Hurricanes. A 29-yard gain on the screen pass.
And set up beautifully. Miami has mixed it up so well. Their sequencing of plays. You're going to take a look at Warren Williams as he comes out in the flat. He's going to fake here and come over here. And the good big block here by 76 Proven downfield allowed Williams to set up and get down there. It was only a saving tackle by Wells for the 2nd time today. There's the block by Proven, number 76.
There's a handoff to Bratton going wide. Now he'll come back. Still going before he slips. Near the 40-yard line. You know that this Miami team under Jimmy Johnson, they're riding a 30-game regular season winning streak. That's the longest in Division I AA.
And Brett, this is the kind of game that's got to concern Jimmy Johnson. They should be ahead by 20 or 30 points, but it's been miscue after miscue. They're only up by 10, and a turnover, something can happen that gets Notre Dame right back in it. And this is the kind of game as a coach you'd hate to lose.
But the ball has been snapped, it seems like, all afternoon in Notre Dame territory, doesn't it? They put out a double wing. They keep Bratton in to block. Complete to Brian Blades for the first down. Light. And a 12-yard gain for Vinny's older brother.
We talk about Steve Walsh putting the ball around. His wide receivers have caught 5 passes. The running backs have caught 4, and the tight ends have caught 2. It's very difficult to double cover any receiver in the Miami attack.
Now it's 1st and 10 for the Canes. At the Irish 29, Walsh is perfect this half so far. 4 of 4. This is Bratton behind Williams. Gets that alley, and he's finally pushed out of bounds. The Irish defense obviously tired, and they're tackling like it, aren't they? Hope you come along with us next Saturday One of those great traditions in college football. 2 Eastern, Army and Navy. What was that masked man wearing there at halftime talking to Jim Nantz? They steal the GOAT? Is that what's going on?
Probably.
Then the Heisman Trophy will be awarded after that. Second and short now for the Canes. Here's Bratton. Looking again to cut back as they string him out defensively, and Wells comes up to hammer him out of bounds. So that'll leave the Canes with a 3rd down. They're in field goal range if they don't convert this 3rd down.
Ned Bolkar has also played well. Number 47 from the right of the screen comes a long way to make the play. He, much like Myra, has had a very long afternoon, a good afternoon in tackling. And then again, Brandy Wells has also played well in support at the corner position.
It's a very sophisticated passing game the Irish will be looking at now in this 3rd down. And a timeout is going to be used by Notre Dame when the Canes came up to the line of scrimmage. Now, Brett Perriman checked into the game, came in wide, and the Irish said timeout here for a moment. We'll regroup.
Started here at the Orange Bowl. The sun was shining brightly and it was 85 degrees. Temperatures dropped about 20 degrees now on the field, but still the humidity is pretty high. Brent, now back to you.
All right, John, thank you. We have 6:28 to go in the 3rd here in the Orange Bowl in Miami. As far as football is concerned, it's a grand old dame. There have been some marvelous, marvelous games played here in this aging arena. Now the Canes, with the 3rd down passing situation, they changed the formation after the timeout. And Walsh with 3 wide men to the left. Got protection and Blades makes a great grab for the 1st down inside the 15.
Sensational protection allowed Steve Walsh to find Brian Blades on the square end. Top of the screen, he's going to come down the field after these 2 men clear out deep, and allows Blades to come underneath the coverage. Terrific call. You see the 2 men clearing out? It opened up the whole middle there for Blades. There's nobody in the center of the field. Terrific call and a great throw.
Miami threatening again. Ball at the Notre Dame 14-yard line. Inside the 10 for Johnson.
We talked about Jimmy Johnson a little bit earlier. I really believe he and Barry Switzer really don't get enough credit. Everybody assumes just because they have great athletes, they aren't great coaches, but they coach them once they get to their universities. Been in the national championship hunt 3 out of the 4 years that he has been here, and a great record against his interstate rivals, Florida and Florida State. The big question mark, of course, has been his bowl appearances the last 2 years.
Close to the goal. Great influence play against Holtz's defense, wasn't it? Fake the toss, and then hammer Williams right straight ahead.
Watch the left guard, Mike Sullivan, get right inside on the middle linebacker. It's a terrific call. Just seals him off. There's nobody there. If the middle linebacker can't make the play on that until he's down 4 or 5 yards down the field, you have a very good play.
Yeah, Wes Pritchett took himself out of the play a bit, and then Mike Sullivan, former star in the Chicago Catholic League, really sealed him up, didn't he? Now in the 1st and goal. Over the top, but short. He'd be an Olympic long jumper if he could vault that far into the end zone, as Bolkar came up over the top to take him on.
Big stick here by Ned Bolkar. This is a situation where if you're on defense, you have to cause a turnover, because a touchdown could be deadly to Notre Dame right now. Miami has fumbled the ball down here earlier in the game.
What John Madden called those guys over time? The jumpers. The jumpers come in. Bolkar was the designated jumper there for Coach Holtz, and he did a job. Well, the crowd in the Orange Bowl today, folks, is 76,000, almost 77. That's the 4th largest in this school's history here. Now Walsh up over the top, waiting for the signal. It doesn't count when Irvin signals touchdown.
And Steve Walsh is not a jumper. gets very thick down here, and I myself don't like the quarterback sneak down here because you don't have a lead blocker. The idea, I think, is to give the ball to a guy like Bratton, 223 pounds, with a lead blocker out in front of him.
Well, Jimmy has sent Cleveland Gary in, Pat. He gives him 225 pounds of muscle on the inside. And they are close enough if they want to try Bratton up over the top right now, and 3rd and inches for the touchdown. And Bratton fumbled. But Miami recovered for the touchdown. Who have dominated this game from the beginning to this point now can open up a 17-point lead on the Fighting Irish. But it's been a struggle getting the ball into the end zone. They fumbled away one scoring opportunity. They recover this one for the touchdown. And Cox hammers it straight through. Attempting to move a step closer toward that hoped-for national championship.
See, and I like this play much better than a quarterback sneak because you have Gary leading for Bratton at 400 pounds right at you. He crossed the plane. That's why it was a touchdown before the fumble.
Back, and we can see Bratton losing the ball, but Miami was all over it in the end zone. One of the players going hard after it was 47 Michael Irvin. But Pat, I think the official was signaling that he had already broken the plane and the ball probably was not free. Watch the official there
in the middle
on the far side,
yeah.
in the middle. See if his arms aren't coming up on the jump over.
And right there, his arms.
Yeah, I think his arms are up. So it was a touchdown. Nevertheless, Miami did recover it in the end zone, and now Cox bangs it away. One of the short men at the 25-yard line. That's a good return for George Street. It has been tough going against this defense. 5 punts, 1 interception. Now one little thing comes to your mind, Pat Hayden, and that is the fact that the Irish left South Bend early this week and came down here on a Wednesday. And you wonder about whether or not they should not have arrived here later for that game. One of those second guesses you can make depending on the result, I guess. Off the play fake, Rice batted in the air and almost intercepted. Big Dan Stubbs was going back after it when it was in the air. Russell Maryland tipped the ball for Miami.
It was supposed to be a screen pass, which it was, with a little too much inside pressure quickly by Maryland, number 67, and for Mark. He leaps high to tip the ball. He's only 6'2", but he got up pretty good. Another one of those leapers, 270 pounds of him.
2nd and 10 now. Getting away. Out of bounds hard with the neck tackle here on the near side.
Very difficult to outrun the Miami defense on the corners. They just have too much speed on the outside.
Watch 22 Shannon.
Yeah, they called a penalty on that right there, Brent. They called the penalty for the club to the head, which is a good call by the official.
Yeah, it was up a little bit too high when he came up around the neck area.
So a new lease on life for the Notre Dame offense, and this is something really what they need. If they're going to get back in this ball game, this series is critical for them.
On the defense, still 2nd down.
Now, I thought they were calling clubbing when he went to the head.
But it was an offside penalty. So a 5-yard measurement makes it 2nd and 5. Banks and Brooks on the backfield behind Young Rice. And they get near to get to the Miami 49-yard line for a first down. We've got a moment here. Let's talk about the Toyota Leadership Awards of this game. For Notre Dame, one of their fine offensive guards, Tom Freeman. He's a fifth-year senior. Hometown out of Shawnee Mission, Kansas. And for Miami, Scott Provin, their fine guard. So Toyota will donate a check in the amount of $1,000 to each school, general scholarship fund. Rice running the option, keeps it and bangs out a few more yards there with that last fake, and then he decided to keep it, and again it was Randy Shannon, the linebacker, on the stop.
Here in the second half, the Notre Dame offensive line has done a better job of coming off the ball, and they've given their fullback in particular a little room to run. When Notre Dame has struggled this year, they've struggled because they have not been able to run the football inside with the fullback.
Miami favored by a strong touchdown, leads it 17-0. Rice now pitches, and here is Brooks. Hammered out on the far side. That was Benny Blades going after Tony Brooks.
This was a terrific play and pitch by Tony Rice. Again, this was set up because they have run the fullback inside so much. There's the fake. He comes down the line, options off Stubbs, gets the ball to Brooks. Good option play there by Tony Rice.
Good yardage on first down. 2 minutes, third quarter. Basically a five-man front, 7 men right there defensively against the option. And Hawkins again comes in with another sack.
Bill Hawkins is underrated. He's going to come out. This is the third time today he's put pressure on the corner of the defense on Tony Rice. It was a third tackle for loss on Rice by Bill Hawkins. Really gets off the ball very, very quickly and gets upfield.
That's the 4th sack against Holtz's quarterbacks. Passing down. Over the middle, complete with the 30-yard line and the first down. So that's an 11-yard gain. Rice to Brown.
It's one of the few times you'll see Notre Dame complete the pass over the middle of the field. And watch Hawkins, number 54, at the bottom of the screen. The offensive line is paying a little bit more attention to him. First, Raider, number 76, kicks him outside, and the fullback, Banks, is there to help out.
Now Alonzo Jefferson steps in, and the Irish show the wishbone. Bad pitch. He wasn't expecting it. It'll go over. Notre Dame turns it over. The fumble.
And Miami wanted Tony Rice to pitch the ball. You see, he's trying to pitch the ball to Tony Brooks, but out of the corner of his eye, all he saw was a white jersey. He didn't realize that was the fullback. He thought that was the man he was supposed to pitch it to. But Miami forced the pitch is what they wanted to do today because Tony Rice has not done that much this year. Pitch the ball.
And he hit Braxton Banks, who was one of the lead blockers. Now Cleveland Gary and Conley, the running backs, and this is Conley.
Ball carrier Leonard Conley. And he's stopped by Rich Morrison, number 86.
Uncharacteristic of Lou Holtz's teams is the kind of mistakes they've made today. A couple of turnovers, some penalties at critical times. This team is not good enough to overcome those things. Miami has much better talent. But what they haven't done this year, and the reason they're 8-2, is they haven't made many mistakes up to today.
Walsh brings the Canes up in the eye. Conley again.
Leonard Conley takes the pitch out.
They have had the Irish struggling throughout this game. Wobbling, and now Miami looking for a knockout punch. We've come to the end of the third. Miami up by 17, and we'll continue after this message and a word from your local station. unable to take advantage of the Miami mistakes in this game. Tim Brown has been held to 67 all-purpose yards, and look at the total offense. It could be worse than it is. 17-0. And a Goodyear blimp up there with Richard Esch, the captain out of Barrington, Illinois, giving us these lovely evening shots here. The last 15 minutes now, and Notre Dame being shut out and the crowd chanting, "We want more, we want more." That time, the Irish defense stormed in on the running back on 3rd and short. Jeff Alm, Stan Smagala. So a big one for Nebraska. Can they bounce back? Let's find out from Jim Nance. Jim?
Well, Brent, they have bounced back, perhaps a week too late for Nebraska. But here, Keith End Zone Jones finds the end zone as he gallops 50 yards to make it 17-0. Let's go back to Brent and Pat.
Here's the punt formation. They came after him, and another beauty by Fiegels. Oh, did he hang one to Tim Brown? Makes a fair catch there at the 17-yard line. 46-yard punt. Now you're seeing some players that will be playing in the NFL someday. Will McDonough will have some insights around the NFL at 12:30 Eastern time on doubleheader Sunday. Many of you will be watching the Packers and the Bears, Philadelphia, New England, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Atlanta, and then our 2 doubleheader games, the Giants and the Skins, the Buccaneers and the Rams. Ricky Waters checks in at tailback here for Rice. Off a play fake, drops off the screen to Waters. Waters down the near side with good speed out to the 35-yard line and a first down on the 16-yard gain.
Wherever Lou Holtz has coached, he has always featured draws, screens, and delay passes because it doesn't take a lot of talent to run those kinds of plays. They're all timing plays. And some of the places he has been, he hasn't been as talented as the opposition. Big part of his offense.
Now Alonzo Jefferson checks in and Tim Brown leaves. So Alonzo Jefferson is up at the top of your screen, number 3. Over the middle, drops it off now. And he goes to his tight end, Heck. Actually, George Myra got over there defensively again.
That's one heck of a catch there.
Good protection for Rice. Brown back on the field with the play from Holtz. Terrell, number 15. They bring the chains out here for the measurement.
We have seen Rice do here twice in the second half is throw the ball over the middle, which Notre Dame really hasn't done much this year because that's where most of the interceptions comes, when quarterbacks throw the ball in the middle of the field where most of the defenders are. We saw Brown catch one earlier, and there Andy Heck, the tight end. Notre Dame has come from behind twice this year, but not against the likes of a team like Miami.
Rice has not passed that badly. He's hit 50%, and he's had 2 dropped by his star Brown. He has not run the option that well here today, and that's because of the Miami defense. He had a bad pitch on a turnover when they were driving for Holtz. See on this second down if they elect to take a free shot or go ahead and get the first down. Rice deflected by Stubbs. It'll be a first-round draft choice.
Brent, on a screen pass, you have to cut the defensive end. You can't let him get upfield. You have to get to his legs, and he tries to do that. Number 73, Screwell, tries to cut him, but Stubbs just runs right by him. He's just too big to try to throw it over.
Now they can come back on this 3rd down. Clock important. Irish playing catch-up. Been a great defensive performance by the Hurricanes. Made easier because the passing attack is not all that sophisticated. Look at the defensive front this time. Banks took on the heart, and it'll depend on where they spot it, folks.
You know, even if he doesn't get it, Notre Dame must go for it, I believe. Well, Braxton Banks runs like a fullback, doesn't he? He really takes it up inside. Again, Dan Stubbs, we've seen him on the pass rush. Watch him come inside on the penetration. He plays hard every down. Lots of guys with athletic ability don't. He is an athlete with lots of heart that plays hard.
They get the first down. Stubbs wants a second look. Wait a minute.
First down, Notre Dame, and it's carried by Banks.
What impresses me about Stubbs so much, Brett, is it's just the angle that he takes on the ball carrier, whether it's a fullback or a quarterback. He always sheds the blocker and takes the right angle.
We saw a tight end by the name of Carter have a great duel with him earlier in the year when Miami staged its comeback against Florida State. Tony Brooks back in at tailback. They pitch it to the freshman. Cuts up inside, and boy, was he hammered by Carter, number 91.
He's hit by Rod Carter.
Well, I tell you, if you're lucky enough to get by Dan Stubbs and some of those other guys, they got some pretty good linebackers back there as well.
I think there's some fellas at South Carolina getting ready. They just headed for the weight room.
Watch all the pursuit from the backside. Again, tremendous speed on defense that gets the ball. 91 is Carter. He comes from way on the other side, and that's what he's supposed to do. Take the cutback away.
Now Mark Green is in as Rice pulls out underneath, and Brown could not have it. That is 3 passes. Brown has fumbled, and we will now wonder about how much trouble he might be having with that finger, which was broken earlier this year.
That's the kind of play that's perfect for a quarterback who is not confident of his throwing. A little delay pass to Tim Brown. He was wide open. Had he caught it, he had some running room.
He appears to be playing as though something's bothering him.
Well, you know, perhaps it is some of the hounding that he's been getting by the press on all this Heisman hoopla. Puts on a press conference every day.
Here comes the rush on 3rd down. This is some defense. That was Greg Mark.
Dave Winstead, the defensive coordinator for Miami, has done a wonderful job preparing this defensive game plan today. Again, Mark comes upfield. He sees that he's not going to get the sack, but what does he do? He gets those big old paws up. Well timed by Mark. He is 6'4.5" as it is, but when he jumps, you just can't get the ball over him.
Man rush against Phelan. Harriman back alone inside the 15. Harriman at the 17. Down at the 21-yard line. 12 minutes and 8 seconds. And the Miami defense throwing a shutout here at Notre Dame. Notre Dame nothing. 12:08 left in the Orange Bowl. It has been a tremendous performance by Jimmy Johnson's defense. And the offense, even though it has misfired on several occasions, has managed to punch in 2 touchdowns. They settled for a field goal after a fake punt in the first half. Yeah, they show a wing with 1 setback. Pounding his way out to the 35 for a first down. Downstairs to John Dockery. Doc.
Thank you, Brent. I'm here with Gil Brent. And Gil, you told Pat Brent and I yesterday the #1 pick in the draft is Tim Brown, right?
Oh, there's no question Timmy Brown will be the #1 pick in the draft. He can just do so many things well.
What about Miami's talent? Are we looking at some other top draft choices?
Well, I think Stubbs really proved himself today, and Blades did a great job on defense.
What about on the other side, Notre Dame?
Well, Notre Dame has got Reiner and Lanza, 2 offensive linemen. They've got Brandy Wells, a good defensive back, and a linebacker by the name of Kevin Figueroa.
What about the draft in general, Gil?
Well, it's not a real productive draft. There's a lot of good players, but I don't think there's any great players in the draft after Gaston, Green, and Brown.
Okay, thank you, Gil. Now back to you, Brent.
All right, John, thank you. So I guess in listening to Gil Brandt, Tim Brown's drop passes here this afternoon in the Orange Bowl did not hurt him all that much. But I'll tell you, some scouts will be watching carefully, won't they, down in the Cotton Bowl when Notre Dame takes on Texas A&M? Jackie Sherrill's team showed some good defense on Thanksgiving night. They got two great linebackers down there, Wallace and Roper. Now Roberts switches over to the left side. Time left in the game. Miami trying to bring the clock down. Whistle sounded earlier because the clock had expired. So that'll be a procedure penalty against the Canes. And Irvin limps off here to the near sideline, shaken up, and Brian Blades replaces him. Irvin is hurt.
Yeah. Steve Walsh trying to run the clock down. We just went a little bit too far, obviously.
There he is. He came off limping.
What a player he is. The size and speed that he has. 6'2", 200 pounds, and can fly. Make the tough catches over the middle. Can block. That's a player. Now, he has a decision at the end of this year, too. He can graduate early and go into the draft or wait another year. I think that'll be dependent upon whether Miami wins a national championship.
Second down. Getting protection. Incomplete. George Streeter, the safety, making a good defensive play there for Notre Dame.
You know, Brent, Steve Walsh has really been playing confidently. We saw him earlier in the year, but he's playing much more confidently now, and he has done something actually since high school. The night before a game, he'll lock himself into his room and just visualize success the next day. Visualize all the things that he's going to do for about 20 or 30 minutes, and this success helps him relax and makes him very confident.
Is that all that it takes? I'm going back to my room afterwards.
When you have a defense like that, it does.
Hey,
yeah.
Jimmy the Greek, get into a real quiet room and start thinking about those winners tomorrow. Third down now. Walsh steps up in the pocket beautifully. Incomplete. Ball was dropped. But you saw Walsh step up, trained to do that when he was in the pocket by his coaches through the years. And the ball was dropped for him. And now Miami forced to punt.
And Notre Dame, I believe, has to try to block this thing, although I see they have 3 people back. I guess when you have Tim Brown, but I would think that the special teams would have to come up with a play.
Yeah, Fiegels has really boomed some punts, hasn't he? To the wide side. Nice return out to the 41-yard line, and Roland Smith runs him down, but it was a 16-yard return by Brown. We'll be right back to the Orange Bowl. So look like from ground level. And then up above from the Goodyear Blimp Enterprise. Joe Assetti will stick with us on this play. Tony Rice, the Irish quarterback. That's what the option looks like for the Goodyear Blimp as he throws off, almost intercepted. Incomplete. I guess we can't use it on every play, huh, Pat?
I'll tell you, if a quarterback had that perspective, though, he'd complete a lot more passes because it's easier to see him from up there than it is down on the field.
I think we saw Rod Carter closing in on Rice, too, as he was releasing the ball. Well, one of the things about these turnovers to keep in mind is the fact that Miami was driving into Notre Dame territory when they turned him over. That fumble, for example, was on what would have been a scoring play on the 1-yard line. So that left them in a horrendous field position. Miami's dominated this game, both offensively and defensively. They have been the best team here this afternoon. There's no doubt about that. They're coming again against Rice. And that time it was Greg Mark, the sophomore.
You know, this offensive line from Notre Dame has not had to pass protect too much here as Mark comes through, just beats Rader, I believe it is, and gets upfield. But they've been more run blockers rather than pass blockers. Rader steps outside, and Mark takes the inside charge. Rice has nowhere to go.
Boy, he's had a big game. That entire defensive line, they have recorded 41 sacks this season. big difference. Now they got Rice, and they can tee off again. That time the line did a good job, and he almost threw an interception. Only 9 minutes to go for Holtz and the Irish. They're being shut out.
Frustrating day for Timmy Brown in a lot of ways. He's dropped 3 balls, but when he's been open here, too, the ball is thrown a little bit high. It's been Tony Rice's problem. He has overstrided all year long, and that's one of the reasons he has thrown the ball high.
So Phelan to boot it for the 7th time, and Perriman ready. 10 men will come after it. Perriman at the 25. He's down at the 33-yard line. It'll be first down. A 40-yard punt and another 8-yard return by Perriman. 8:55 remaining. Brown and that Notre Dame offense being shut out as Knight closes in. There's something beautiful about a ballpark at night, isn't there? A little baseball, football. All right, 1st and 10 now. The Hurricanes dominating. They have the ball. And Walsh in this running game. We'll see what they can do about bringing this clock down. Gary is the fullback. Irvin back in the game, 47, not seriously hurt. And instead of running, they throw underneath. Complete. Cleveland Gary coming out of the backfield is finally tracked down by Figueroa. A 21-yard gain. So the championship dreams. We have 3 unbeatens. Oklahoma, 1 victory away from another national title for Barry Switzer. All they would have to do is beat Miami here. Miami, on the other hand, has 2 more Orange Bowls in effect. After this one, they take on South Carolina here and then Oklahoma. Syracuse, they're unbeaten, ranked 4, and they will take on Auburn in the Sugar Bowl. So those are the 3 unbeatens. There are a couple of other teams, though, lurking in the weeds. 1st and 10 here for Miami. They run Conley, and he squirts through the defense, gets to the outside, and finally hit from behind by Flash Gordon. That's a 19-yard run. They rip off 2 big plays against that Notre Dame defense.
Leonard Conley is a freshman to look forward to. 2 of them in the state of Florida. Emmitt Smith at University of Florida. But again, the great vision. He has cut back 2 or 3 times today against the grain, and that's where he's come up with the big plays. And also a very good receiver out of the backfield.
So the ball is to the Notre Dame 26. Here's the pitch to Conley. Cuts back into heavy traffic. Gordon wrapping him up again. I mentioned the 2 teams lurking in the weeds there. Florida State did a good job today against Florida in Gainesville for Bobby Bowden. 10-1. They'll go to the festival and take on Nebraska. Those 2 schools obviously needing a lot of combinations to win a title. 10-1 for Florida State, folks. It was a big one in Tallahassee, wasn't it? All came down to that 2-point play. Florida State couldn't get the job done. Miami trailing 19-3 with a great comeback. So in the 2 games they needed to win, the Hurricanes have come up big. The comeback on Florida State and the shutout against the Irish so far. Here's Walsh, back deflected, and a diving catch there. Beautiful by Alfredo Roberts, and it's incomplete. Thought for a moment he had it, but it had hit the ground. And let's go downstairs to John Dockery. Doc?
Thank you, Brent. Charles Weiss is a coach at South Carolina. What did Miami show you tonight?
Well, they were strong offensively, defensively, and their special teams played great tonight. If they weren't for the turnovers early in the game, it could have been a very, very big, larger margin than they had tonight.
But South Carolina has a different kind of offense, an explosive offense with some good wide receivers.
Well, I think Notre Dame was one-dimensional, didn't throw the ball, and I think with Todd Ellis and the receivers, our running back, I think we might be able to put a little bit more pressure on them than Notre Dame did in the passing game.
Okay, thank you, Charles. Now back to you, Brent.
All right, John, thank you. Walsh changing it up at the line, time running down, got it off just in time. Walsh back over the middle, and this time the diving catch by Brett Perriman.
Earlier in the game, the Notre Dame defense baited Steve Walsh into an audible. He thought it was going to be a blitz, and remember they backed out and intercepted. This time they didn't. They came with a blitz, and he drills the ball right to Perriman after the audible, the blitz audible. All these receivers from Miami will stretch out and get the ball over the middle for you. Quarterback stream.
And Jimmy says that Walsh reads the blitz as well as any first-year quarterback that they've had here. Folks, that includes some real good names. There's that inside handoff. Conley. Tough yards for the little fella.
What a very impressive drive here by Miami. We've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen some draw plays, and we've seen a screen. We've seen the fullback catch the ball and a couple of different wide receivers. You have to wonder a year ago, perhaps, Brent, if Miami had run the ball as well as they're running it here in the second half of the Fiesta Bowl, whether they be the defending national champions.
And don't remind Joe Paterno, he was scared to death they were going to bring Highsmith and Bratton right at him at that long last drive. Instead, they put it up, gave the Nittany Lions a chance to pick it off and reign as the champions. Now they'll power Conley in. Fumble. But Miami got back on it.
We've said it before, but Miami likes to go to its left when they get in tough situations and down by the goal line, because that's where their best blockers are. The ball came loose. They said his knee was down, and he recovered the ball anyway. Conley did.
3rd and goal. Gary and Conley set behind Walsh. Didn't I? Touchdown, he got in. Maybe I didn't.
No, you're right.
Oh, that's a big mistake to make down there by the goal line on 3rd and short yardage.
There is no play. There's a delay of game.
It can happen to you when you're trying to use as much of the clock as you can when you're ahead in the ball game like they are. Walsh is trying to let it run down.
Johnson sees the clock. He sees it counting down. Jimmy's got a perfect view over there. He saw Gary get in, and he realized it. His reaction. Gary vaulting up in the air. Boy, no wonder when I got a hold of Dick McPherson, the Syracuse coach, no wonder he was on a scouting trip to Florida. The talent that exists in this state and the number of schools that come down here to recruit.
50 of in the Big Ten, I think.
Now it makes it tougher on this 3rd and goal. There's Conley. Breaks free for the touchdown. What a great run by the freshman. That should do it. Freshman Leonard Conley against Lou Holtz's Irish defense rushes 15 times for 87 yards and the knockout touchdown. Cox adds the extra point.
Again, the left side of the offensive line really does a job. Number 79, Sullivan, pulls out in front of Conley. For a guy who's only 170 pounds, though, he runs awfully strong. Breaks the tackle there of Smagala, number 29, to get in.
So Jimmy Johnson coaching Miami, Lou Holtz on the other sideline. Well, we've got an opportunity. Let's take a look at these two schools. Orange Bowl. Let's see what that says. What? Well, I'll tell you the first thing I think now, that you don't have to take a spelling test to get into Miami.
No, I would
want to tell you something. Hats off to this football team and the job that Jimmy Johnson has done. The great comeback against Florida State, and now they are shutting out Notre Dame. It's 24-0. Fumbled by Brown, picked up at the 9. He's down at the 19, and there's no question now in my mind that something is bothering him, and perhaps it is that hand. Well, a reminder again tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern time. Greek, how come you told me that Notre Dame was going to win this game? Oh, he didn't. We got a doubleheader. Hey, Jay Schrader, we get late word from George Veras up in New York that Jay Schrader in one of our doubleheader games is going to start at quarterback. Doug Williams apparently is out for a week. And certainly tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern time. And we'll have details on that story for you tomorrow. So doubleheader Sunday, 12:30 Eastern time, and I'm sure I'll have a campus message for all my friends down here at Miami.
If I had $1 for all the times your name is misspelled, I'd be doing all right.
Kent Graham back in at quarterback. You can see him from the Goodyear blimp.
Standing and saluting Brent Musburger.
I got to show them that they're number one, folks. Hold on, I got a lot of play on the ball there, too.
Oh, my.
Anything I can do to help, Jimmy, you know, whatever I can do. I'll tell you one thing about Jimmy Johnson of Miami through the years when we've had him in here, Pat. They've given us great, great games.
Absolutely. Jimmy Johnson has been very hospitable as well.
I hope Barry Switzer is not looking at this. I'll get in trouble with all my friends out there.
Oh, gosh, it's great. It is great.
This is the most fun I've had since Georgetown tried to lick me out in Seattle.
Well, at least you know they're listening to you, right? I just hope they all have Nielsen sets. Two disappointing losses for this Notre Dame team in a row. Nonetheless, a remarkable year considering not a dominating defense and a one-dimensional team, and still playing in a January 1st bowl. And Jimmy Johnson has done a sensational job with this Miami team.
Now Graham brings the Irish up to the line. 4:59 to go. And he drops it off. They set the screen. Down on the far side that time. That was Braxton Banks, the fullback. So this will be a second down now for the Irish.
I want to tell you, in the Orange Bowl, you're going to see two pretty good defenses when you look at Oklahoma and Miami.
Yeah, they run the draw play with Brooks. They've used him a lot here this afternoon. That was Myra, and then Bubba McDowell, 48. We've talked about that two-point play, that Florida State. Pat, I know that you and I remember it so well, and Bobby Bowden calling a timeout, changing his mind, electing to put it up, and Bubba McDowell, who was in on that stop, rose up and swatted the ball down. And that has positioned Miami to win a national championship if they can win out. Oklahoma also would win it if they beat Miami in the Orange Bowl. Is down, and that was Greg Mark. This entire defense deserves to be the player of the game. Been a great performance. We got Bill Hawkins, Greg Mark, Derwin Jones, Danny Stubbs up front. Stubbs getting the crowd back into the thick of it. Behind Stubbs. You've got Landy Shannon, George Myra, and Rod Carter. The secondary is so big. Tolbert Baines, 200. Benny Blades at 215. Darrell Fullington at 190. Bubba McDowell at 202. And they forced the Irish to punt again. They've held Notre Dame to 171 yards today. Phelan drives Perriman back inside the 35. Slips a tackle. And he is down with a 2-yard return. So come along with us next week to Philadelphia. One of the great traditions. Those of you who had the pleasure of seeing this game know what it's like to get there early and see the core and the middies walk on. Doesn't really matter what kind of a year these two schools are having when it comes to this game. It's provided a lot of great memories, and so have all the Heisman Trophy winners through the years. And we'll crown another one on CBS next week right after the Army-Navy game. Craig Erickson, you're wanting to watch him. He steps in at quarterback right now. He's a freshman, highly recruited. On the toss play on first down. He comes with the tailback as they start to clear the bench now. Tracy Waters, the ball carrier, is 34. So Jimmy Johnson clears the bench. Mr. Stubbs and Mr. Walsh, you played real well. Put it up. Complete on that far sideline. That's Dale Dawkins, a sophomore from Vero Beach, Florida, number 11.
You know, Jimmy Johnson is so impressed with this Craig Erickson, as well as Steve Walsh has played this year. He may open up the positions of the competition in spring practice. Really likes the way Erickson can play. Erickson's father, by the way, played for our own Ara Parsegan at Northwestern. There was a backup quarterback there.
That's a nice greeting there from Danny Stubbs. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Certainly hope you and yours enjoyed it and all the great football that's come your way over the last few days. More tomorrow. It's a great time of year if you're a football fan, and a particularly marvelous time if you're a Miami Hurricane fan. You know, the last time they won the national championship with Bernie Kosar, remember that great comeback, that great victory over Nebraska? And that was right here in the Orange Bowl. There's nothing like a little home cooking, as the Big Ten annually finds out when they go out there to take on UCLA and USC. That time the 25-second clock did not expire.
You know, both these coaches have done a nice job with their teams. Of course, Jimmy Johnson has got lots of athletes, really coached them well, and Lou Holtz hasn't had nearly the kind of athletes that Miami does, but he has gotten the most out of these players. They've played well together all year long. They care about one another, and they're in a January 1 bowl. 2 or 3 years from now, Lou Holtz will have a very, very strong team again, I believe, because he's got a very strong freshman and sophomore class.
Those of you in the South Bend area might want to circle October 15th, 1988, Miami in South Bend to play the Irish.
Last time Notre Dame was shut out was by Miami in 1983.
Now they run the draw play. Alex Johnson. So Jimmy clears his bench here, wrapping one up against the Fighting Irish.
Brent, at the top of the day, we talked about the big concern Lou Holtz had was the passing yardage that Miami could get after they caught the ball. That's what's happened again today. 113 yards after the reception. Big-time receivers.
Good football team, well coached. They've had a long time to prepare for Notre Dame, and they did a good job with it. Next week, South Carolina for them, and you wonder about the problems that South Carolina's speed might present when they come in here as Johnson carries the ball again. There was a fumble, and it goes over to Notre Dame. That was Jeff Coons, number 93, who wrapped up that fumble for Lou Holtz. And this is a disappointing one for Coach Holtz and the staff. But they'll be back in the Cotton Bowl. They get some time off now. That'll be their next game. They'll play Texas A&M. Jackie Sherrill had a option quarterback by the name of Richardson, who came up with a couple of huge plays on Thanksgiving night. Graham buried down, and another sack for the Hurricanes. That's their 6th of the game as this defense continues to dominate. Bill Hawkins has been one of the leaders. Was stopped. He wanted that timeout, trying to clear the field here with a second to go. He has a second to go. And Notre Dame will use it. Lou Holtz on that far side who said, I want one more crack.
And he's just postponing the inevitable, but he wants to give, I believe, his team at least a chance, perhaps, not to get shut out. Hope throw the ball downfield, hope Brown makes a great catch, or perhaps a penalty.
There's Irvin and Brian Blades down around Coach Johnson. This is a big moment for Jimmy Johnson. Because despite all the controversies about the scores and things through the years, this team has performed awfully well when you look at the overall picture. Now they reset the clock. Time had been stopped with 7 seconds to go. Fake, going long for Brown, batted incomplete, and that'll do it. Miami and Jimmy Johnson with a shutout of Notre Dame.
Thank you, Brent. I'm down here with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy, did you know your team would rise to the occasion the way they did?
Well, we've got some good people on our football team. We've got some good people on this assistant coaching staff. The assistant coaches put in a lot of time this week, and our players played hard. They realized that we hadn't played very well the last few weeks, and they laid it on the line, and they rise to the occasion on the big ball games.
Jimmy, did you try to hold the score down at the end?
Yeah, Erickson ran an audible there one time and threw the ball, and that's when I pulled him off the side. I said, Craig, don't audible, don't throw the football. I don't want to throw it. I've heard enough of that for the last couple of years. I don't want to hear any more of it.
You don't want to hear any more. Next week you have to hear South Carolina. They have some speed. What kind of problems?
Well, I haven't seen any South Carolina film yet. We'll just have to look at it. I know they've got a great football team, and our guys are going to have to just do it again.
All right, and then it's on to Oklahoma. Congratulations, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Now back to you, Brent.
All right, and our congratulations, too, to the Miami Hurricanes, who are now a couple of victories away from a national championship. To get there, they'd have to beat South Carolina and then Oklahoma. And the Sooners only one victory away from a title. And right now, before we wrap it up, let's send you back to New York. And here's Jim Nantz. Jim?
Thank you very much, Brent. And I'm not sure there's a better defense in the nation than one we saw today from the University of Miami. We have all the scores and highlights from today, and we'll also talk about the Heisman race, what this performance today by Tim Brown might mean. We'll get to that when we continue on CBS in just a moment.